YouTube viewers. We are out here planting today. It's a little bit cold out. Had a rock there. It's a little bit cold out, and we've had a lot of questions about whether or not we should be planting right now. The soil temperature at 2 inches is probably around that 50 degrees right now this afternoon with the sun, in this field anyway. At night it does get down colder, maybe down to about 40 degrees, and we do have rain and snow coming tomorrow around supper time, is according to the forecast anyway. So what we've decided to do is quit planting when we finish this field. I'll be finishing this field in about an hour and a half, and so we'll be stopping a good 24 to 30 hours before that cold rain comes. That's maybe, according to what we're being told now, that's maybe a little bit close, because they say that the moisture hits the germ of that kernel about 36 hours, 24 to 36 hours after you've planted it. And the temperature of that moisture supposedly is really critical to the germ as far as how it will react. So when it first gets that drink of moisture, they say that you got a tile to go around here. I don't like turning around them like that, but that one was way out on the end. It was going to go right into a tire. So that's the way you got to do it sometimes. Anyway, the cold moisture getting to that germ, they say, can cause inconsistencies with the germination of the seed and inconsistent emergence. You can get a weaker stalk and just an inconsistent stand in the field. According to some stuff I've looked up recently, that can be highly dependent on the seed you're using. Some seed will handle the cold germ just fine, and some seed won't. Unfortunately, that's not information we have. It doesn't come with the seed right away, so we don't actually know that unless we send it into a lab and get it tested. So what we've decided to do is we're planting 2 of our latest hybrids right now. We've got the planter split. We've got 1 hybrid on each side, so that we can compare in the fall. We can compare yields and stock health and stands and different things like that. We can watch it all summer and compare those. So we've decided to take our 2 latest, or our longest maturity hybrids, and split plant those and get those in right now, just to get them in as early as we can. We will be stopping tonight though, just so that we're not planting right up into that cold rain. Ideally, it would be nice to wait until after that cold rain, because the forecast looks pretty good afterwards, but the reality is that we've got 2,500 acres that we have to worry about in total. We don't have 2,500 acres of corn, but in total, as far north as we are, it's kind of a risk management thing to get what you can in the ground now and do what you can now, so that you can kind of spread your risk out in case you have problems later. And now I'm getting some low warnings. We've got something going on. I'm not sure what, but stand by. I'm going to put you guys on pause. Alright, I have not figured out yet where it's coming from, but obviously I've got hydraulic issues. The left side of the planter quit planting. I would think it would be in the number 3 hydraulic, because that's what controls the vacuum on the left side of the planter, but clearly we've got a leak coming from somewhere, but I'm struggling to find where it's at. So I powered down, and our oil level is not too low, and I can't find a leak. So right now I'm just going to let everything calibrate back up and get started, and I'm just going to fire it up again and try to start going, and I'm going to keep an eye on it. That's an issue. Clearly we're leaking out of the fitting right there. Okay, so you saw before we got a heck of a leak coming right out of there, right on that coupler where it threads onto this hose. So I'm going to take some tools and unhook that and see if I can get that fixed, see if I can just tighten it up enough to seal, or if there's an O-ring inside there that's blown out. I got it fixed. The coupler just wasn't very tight, and it had pushed the O-ring out, and so it was kind of leaking past the O-ring there, spraying past that. And all I did was take the coupler off, spin that O-ring a little bit, and tighten it back up, and just get it good and tight. And now it's not a problem. There's nothing spraying out back there anymore, so we're definitely going to need to be, we're going to need to take a pressure washer to it, but we're going anyway. It's planting time 2017, and we'll get this thing back to the shop after we do this field and wash it up. So it's not good to plant close up to a cold rain, which is why we're going to pull the plug after we finish this field. And ideally we'd like to wait until after that cold rain, but when you're as far north as we are, it's important that we get it in the ground early because we have a short growing season, and it's important because it can translate into a big yield if you can get it in the ground earlier. So sometimes you'll wait and you'll hold off because it's supposed to be cold in the forecast, and you'll hold off, and then all of a sudden after the forecast warms up, it never stops raining. And so you kind of just have to balance those things, and nothing's ever perfect. You know, you can't always farm in paradise, as I saw somebody say it yesterday, and that really makes sense. So we're kind of just going to balance it out. We're going to put 10% of our acres in, and you know, I know the seed will be fine. I'm not worried about it rotting in the ground. The only thing I'm worried about is having that shock to the germination.